Hi, this is Carol. Some of you will know me from Astro forums as Carastro, and some of you will know me from various astronomy camps, particularly Kelling Heath. I've been teaching a few people to image, and they've made the transition from DSLR to mono CCD, and have got tripped up by the same thing that I got tripped up with when I changed from DSLR to CCD, and that is how to combine the various filters. There's two steps to this. The most important thing is to register all the frames, and particularly register them with the luminance. And the other is to actually do the combination. In this tutorial, I'm just going to do combining the red, green and the blue, and I'll do a separate tutorial for adding the luminance and a separate tutorial for the registration. This is the first online tutorial I've done, so please bear with me if I make any mistakes. Now, I've got here an RGB filters that have already been stacked and they've already been registered of M20, the Trifid Nebula. Now, normally I tend to combine the three filters together before I start doing any processing, but because I want you to see the coloured result, I'm going to stretch it slightly for the benefit of this tutorial. So, and I don't think you can see my mouse all the time, but hopefully you'll be able to follow what I'm doing. So we're going to image adjust levels, and I'm just going to give a slight stretch in levels up to the histogram on the right hand side on each of the filters, just to brighten them up a little bit. Image adjust levels, so that when we combine them you'll be able to see the colour. Now the next thing that you have to do is duplicate one of the images. So it doesn't matter which one it is, but I'm going to duplicate the red, and I'm going to call it M20 RGB. Now if you look over into the channels, you'll see that all the filters are grayscale. So what we have to do to this RGB image is convert it to RGB. So you do that with image mode RGB color, and if you look over to the channels, it's now got red, green and blue channels in it. So what we need to do now is paste those various filters into those channels. So select all on the red, copy and paste it into the red channel, paste. The same with the green, select all, copy, paste, and the same with the blue, select all, copy, paste. So and then if you highlight the RGB, that will show all the colours up. So we're going to zoom in a little bit, because you can see there's a little bit of misalignment here, but it's uniform all the way through the image. When I come to do the tutorial on registration, there's a wonderful option on Registar where you can actually get it to crop all the images so they exactly, all the stars will exactly sit on top of each other. But I haven't done a crop in this one for some reason. So I'm just going to shift the filters around, which again will be something useful for you to know. So in order to shift the red, I need to click on the red channel, but again highlight the RGB so that you can see what you're doing. And you can either use the mouse or the arrow keys on the computer, and that's nicely aligned the red. Now in order to work on the image, you need to again highlight the RGB, the whole thing, otherwise you'll just work on one filter. Now this is obviously now combined, but in order to let you see a little bit more, I'm going to just do a brief little bit of processing. The first thing I'm going to do is to crop off those edges where the filters needed to be shifted, which will give us a cleaner image and a cleaner histogram. Deselect, and the very next thing that I will do is, this is not meant to be an imaging tutorial, but it might be useful for you to know. I find stretching in curves and levels tends to wash out the star color. So the next thing I do is I go into match color, image adjust, match color, and I just increase the color intensity a little bit. And that helps to put the color back. I might need to do that twice. Yes, probably 1 and a bit times. So you can see the stars are starting to come back into a bit of colour now. I'm just going to do a couple of stretches and curves just to let you see this RGB image a bit clearer. Image adjust, curves. Okay, so now you can see you've got this combined RGB image. I mean, it's not finished by any means, but it's just a good demonstration to show you how to combine the filters. Obviously, there's other things you need to do, balance the colors, etc., etc. So this is the end of this tutorial, and then I'll go on to adding the luminance. Okay.